So our past, present, and future. Okay, interesting energies here. So the past is the 5 of Pentacles. And in numerology and tarot, 5 is this number of change and conflict. So in the past, you may have had some trauma, childhood wounds that you had to deal with, or perhaps didn't want to. And recently, some of those things that you thought you had healed have come back into play. You've circled back to them. And I like to look at the healing process as a spiral, right? So each time we revisit something from our past that we're healing, we are like leveled up slightly because we're spiraling up the healing process. And this card is telling me that whoever this reading is for, you've recently tapped back into an energy that you thought you had healed completely from, and you had to revisit it, and you took it as a failure, as something that you didn't get right. Why is this still bothering me? I thought I took care of this. I thought I understood it. I did all the self-help growth stuff, changed my mindset, yet here it is circling back. What I'm hearing is you're being asked to remember that you have healed and you're not out in the cold. You're not broken. You're not defeated. You have healed that trauma. You've healed those past wounds. And even if they're circling back and triggering you or making you feel like I didn't work through this completely because it's still an issue, you're being asked to remember that you have, and you're continuing to release this energy. And if we think of life in that cycle, in this circling back and around, as the world turns, right? So as we're circling back through past energies and seasons, be aware that even if you feel like you haven't progressed, you're being told right now that you have. And it's really important for you to acknowledge that. It's really important for you to know that you are ahead of where you once were. And something you may want to do in order to solidify that in your mind is get out the journal and write down just this past year. Write the months down from this past year and try to think back, look in your calendar, look back at what you were doing just last August. And every month after that, leading to this August, what was happening in your life? And really celebrate those small wins, celebrate the big wins, celebrate everything that you did differently this past year that's true and factual. Because I think quite often when we revisit things that are still bothering us, we tend to go back into that old pattern, that old energy, and think we haven't progressed, we haven't moved on, when in reality, we really have. And it's important for us in those moments to correct the words we're telling ourselves. Especially if you struggle from negative self-talk, it's important for you to go back and tell yourself, actually, these things are healed and I have done better. And you can see that when you write them down in list form, bullet form, journal form, whatever, but get it out in writing. I'm hearing you've got to get it out. You've got to get it out of your mind and onto paper so that you can make sense of it. So that's for somebody. And perhaps the person I'm talking to right now has just started journaling or actively trying to write what's wrong, to correct what negative thoughts they have through writing specifically is what I'm hearing. Our present card is a beautiful card. It is the 6 of Cups, and this is one of these happiness, giving generously, family, childhood, this nostalgic card. And what I love about the contrast between these two messages here is I was receiving this childhood wounds, trauma, old patterns that we're trying to convince ourselves that we have moved on from. This card is telling us there are so many positives that we can be remembering at this time, and we really need to shift. We need to shift that negative thoughts, those negative beliefs that we did have at one time, into the positive present, into this place of, am I remembering the past correctly? Am I choosing to paint it as trauma, as this horrible thing, when in reality, there were so many good things that happened as well. And I have that choice to each day decide, am I going to get hung up on the negative stuff? Even if I feel like I've healed it, can I now let it go? And this card here in your present is telling us, yes, like that's what you need to do. That is the trick. And I'm not saying you have to live here every day. Obviously, there are going to be things that trigger us and that make us go back to those moments. But just know when you go back there, you're in a better place. You're in this higher place than you once were. And every day that you choose this happiness, this positive outlook, you're retraining your brain. You're retraining your brain to see the world in this way, so that when those negative thoughts do show up, you'll be able to flip out of them much faster. So again, going back to that journaling piece, that for someone out there, I'm hearing that you need this factual, scientific proof that you've moved on, and proving to yourself just through a couple bullet points for each month or revelations that you've had. If you write those revelations down, you can then go back to them when you're having that doubt of whether or not you've healed. You can go back there and prove to yourself that you have. Now, it's interesting here. So our past energy was this reverse 5, and 5 is all about conflict, upheavals. Then we had a 6, so we're progressing, right? And now we're going back to a 5 in the future. So this is interesting to me, and it's telling me that in the near future, you're going to be battling. Obviously, you're going to have this more conflict here with our 5 of Wands. You're going to be battling this back and forth between what happened in your past, whether you're going to let it dictate your future. Are you going to let it continue to pull you under? I'm speaking to a collective right now that is on the verge of making monumental shifts in their mindset in order to release themselves from what has held them back, unbeknownst to you. So something you're not even possibly aware of is keeping you back. And in the not so distant past, you saw this. You saw an instance that triggered you and made you feel like a disappointment, made you feel like, okay, I wasn't able to get past that. What is wrong with me? But then because it's reversed, that tells me that you are healed. You are. Your future energy, though, is telling me here that you may not believe it. So you're going to have these good days, but then you're going to cycle back to the drama from your childhood, from past relationships, from maybe even adulthood, the stuff that we carried into adulthood that still tugs at us, that makes us want to take out our wand and fight. We're going to be struggling with this back and forth. We're going to be going back and forth. So let's pull some more cards to clarify what it is that this collective can do. What's the advice here for us moving forward for these good and bad days in this cycle that we're in? I have the 3 of Wands reversed. And the 3 of Wands is all about looking out over the horizon, being proud of the work you've done, holding on, sturdy to this wand of passion and drive and determination, and making this solid plan for what you choose to do from here. The fact that it's reversed is telling me that, again, we're blocking this energy right now. And it might be this back and forth between, I feel good, now I feel like I am not enough. This is asking us to stabilize ourselves, find a practice daily that we can hold on to in order to feel better. So that's an interesting piece of advice. Here's another card we have. We have the 7 of Pentacles, and this is one that's all about reaping what we sow. So we put in the hard work. As you can see by this expression, it is hard work. However, when we do that, when we plant those seeds, this is the abundance that we can grow. And we'll get one last card here. Oh, I love it. So the Hierophant is looking to a mentor or a counselor, finding faith in and help in the situation. So this could be speaking to someone out there who may need to reach out, whether that be a therapist, a counselor, a mentor, a self-help book, something that can help you ground your energy so that you no longer have to do the flip-flop between happy, sad. So the Hierophant is here to remind us that you are not alone. You can find help, you can find counsel, a mentorship, whether that's through therapy or speaking with a friend or a family member who I'm hearing is, non-biased. And I'm also hearing the word earnest. It's this place for you to get serious and ground and understand that you have what it takes to take control of your life. And I'm getting this energy, especially coming up in the near future, where you're going to feel like this lack of control, this conflict, this I've got to fight to be heard, when in reality, that's not the case. And with this flip-flop back and forth, you're going to know if this is your reading. If you're someone who's been struggling with one day feeling great, the next day feeling like you've got to fight or you're not being heard, then this reading is telling you that seeking counsel, whether that's outside of yourself or inside of yourself, internally asking yourself in journal entries, what does my soul want me to know today? And then listening and writing that down. You can take control of the situation. If you put in that work, you can reap the benefits. You can unblock the plan here. All right, I'm going to pull something from my Oracle deck, the Moonology deck, just to get any more advice for the collective here. Whoever this reading is for, what do they need to know? Okay, I see here, hold your vision. So if there's something that you want, you can have this. It's going to take getting your mindset in order, but you can have it. Hold that vision. Luck is on your side. That's a really great card to get. And we do have a new moon coming up this weekend. Oh, here it is. A new start is coming with our new moon. So perhaps there's a lot going on right now in the energies around you. There's shifts in our schedules happening. That could be triggering these emotions of back and forth, happy, sad, mad, misunderstood, confused. But know that a new start is coming. We have our new moon coming this weekend. If you're watching it in real time, this could be a timeless reading, however, whenever you find it. I am hearing, though, whenever you do find this reading, even if it's not when it was posted, check the phases of the moon. So with this new moon, there is a new start coming. And I would love to hear in the comments if you come across this and things have shifted after that new moon. I love the luck is on your side. I'm hearing like you don't even need the luck, though. I feel like this is so concrete. I feel this is something that you can shift so easily if you want to. And I hate to say it like that because of course you want to, right? But like, this is something I'm hearing is not as hard as we're making it. This is not as hard as you might think. So once you make those simple adjustments in your, daily schedule or just your mindset in general, I'm seeing the Hanged Man, which is a perspective card in the tarot deck. It's shifting that perspective so that you can understand where you may be off in your thinking. So yeah, I really think that being cognizant of this, knowing that these flip-flop days of, I don't want to say moodiness, but just like all of a sudden you just feel off, could very much be tied to the fact that you are still healing, but not giving yourself credit for all the healing that you've already done. So it keeps coming back to this journal for me. Just get out something where you can prove to yourself that you have done so much, that you deserve the happiness that's coming in, because there is happiness coming in. The Sun card right here. The Sun is the best, brightest card you can get. It is all about joy with our sunflowers, our little child here riding a horse. The Sun telling us that, it's all going to work out. The sun is coming out. So whether you've struggled lately seeing that sun, that sunny side of things, this is what's in your future. This is what's coming for you. So hold on to this. Hold on to this idea. Hold your vision. Hold the vision of you on this sunny day, getting all that you've ever desired. I'm going to pull one last card. These are the Angel Answer cards from Radleigh Valentine. It's actually the first oracle deck I ever started with. And it says recovery. Yes, you are recovering. You're still healing. And you're not giving yourself credit for all that you've been through. So give yourself some grace. Understand that the moods here, the flips between happy, sad, it's all coming together for you. A new start is coming. Luck is on your side. Hold your vision. The sun is in your future. And that trumps this conflict card, because you're going to take care of that. You're going to give yourself the credit that you deserve, all that healing that you've gone through. You're going to prove to yourself that you've done the work, and you're going to continue to recover. All right, I'm going to leave it right here. Thank you for tuning in. If this resonated with you and you enjoyed this style of reading, please like and subscribe, comment below. Let me know you're here. Again, if you're interested in learning to read the tarot deck for yourself, I highly recommend it. It can help you, especially even on this path, to unlock some hidden feelings that you might be having. And it's simply just pulling a card from the deck each day and asking yourself, what is this card trying to tell me? So if you want to know what the cards mean and what they're trying to tell you, you can check out my free self-paced tarot course on YouTube. I also post some of it on TikTok, and you can follow along with me. I developed a workbook to go along with it. It's called the Happy Little Mystics Tarot Workbook. It's available on Amazon right now for under $10. However, you don't need it to participate. So any notebook will do. However you like to learn, it's available to you on YouTube. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.